Hi, Ruthie. How are
Hi,
you?
Emma. I'm good.
Let's just do a little recap of what we had last time. So, last time we understood that it's easier to entice communication or speak to anybody when we're in the mode of giving, right? Even if we have many needs and requests and interests, it's much easier when we put the focus on the other person. We listen because people love talking about themselves and it's actually interesting. And we want to go from a mode from interest to the other side to actually giving and not just talking about giving, actually doing it. Why? Because it's the best form of communication, right? So let's do one example. All right. And as an entrepreneur, you might be raising funds. So let's do something fun. Let's say that you are vacationing in New York City. And let's say that you bumped in the lobby into a investor you're following. Let's say you bumped into Mark Andreessen. And let's say that you're reading his blog and you recently read about what he wrote about the AI that many people fear that it's going to replace their jobs, but he actually wrote, have no fear, here is why, right? So this is the background. Why? Because you're really following him and you really would love to get an investment and you really would like to talk to him, but he's a celeb and you know that he's hard to get and you see him in the lobby. So based on what we just learned in the first class, what would you do? So we put the focus on the other person. We want to be in giving. You just saw him in the lobby. Any ideas?
Good question. I would have to do a lot of work to get away from the fact that he's a celebrity and gets gazillion people. And naturally, I feel always like people like this, whenever someone approaches them, they already on the defense, like someone wants something from me. um,
Yeah, exactly. So, and let's say we said that the three rules are authentic, authentic, authentic. Right.
I would probably go with, oh my God, it's amazing to see you face to face. That's something I never thought is going to just happen. But here we are, and thank you so much for putting out that article about why this is not going to replace people's jobs. I know that for a lot of people that really brought relief and a little bit less stress in such a stressful world, and that's amazing. So thank you for this. And I would really love to follow up with, actually, I'm working on something that is not going to replace people. It's just going to do something that no one currently is doing. And because of it, women across the world are suffering for years until someone is finally helping them. And I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
Okay. So, great
But
introduction.
the last part, I don't know if it's good.
Exactly. So let's separate the two. This is small talk. We're in a lobby. So let's reverse roles. And you are the famous investor. You're Mr. Anderson. And I just saw you in the lobby. And I know you're a celeb and everything. So I would probably say the same thing as you are. In this case, hello, Mr. Anderson. It could be anybody. Oh my God, it's amazing to see you face to face. I know you're probably very busy. I just wanted to say I follow everything that you write. And thank you for putting out this information in there. And I hope you have a wonderful vacation. Your turn.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy you read it. What made you follow me? Or I don't know if they would ask that. I have no idea how to be that. I'm sorry.
People are human, right? So if you say something about this, so you exactly, he would say this, or other people would actually say, thank you very much. What made you follow it? What made you read it? Or thank you. Okay. And you could say, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I follow you because I have a hope that maybe one day I'll be able to pitch to you.
Mm.
And that's it. And you leave it at that, right? So if the other side is nice and they would like to hear from you, they would probably take out a card. If not, then not. It's okay. We don't make them do anything. We're
Right.
just small talking, right? But that is an easier approach when we're not scared, because we just come up to a person and say, well, thank you for doing X and Y, and I follow you, and thank you.
And that's it.
That's
Interesting. You see, it's like, I think we talked about it a little bit last time. It's so natural and also like the opposite of what they tell you to do in networking events. Like they really tell you have to start your pitch right away because like you're gonna lose attention. Like you need to like get to something and then like, just tell them what you're doing. Even if it's not a full pitch, like just tell them. And that is just like you said, it's just not working in most cases. It's just
um this could be a probable approach to do your pitch, but I found that if I'm pitching to a person or an investor and I put so much effort into my business, then I would like to get the respectful attention. So when I'm just pitching to somebody for 30 seconds, that's what I do. And the other person is a networking event and he probably heard like a zillion pitches. I would probably not get I'd rather set a time that we can communicate properly. And if it's a networking event, the idea is to get to know the people that you're in, right? So what's better than just to listen to them and find interest in them?
yeah.
That's the approach, I think, that works better.
Yeah. I tend to agree because it sounds so logical and very natural. So I'm inclined to try.
Yeah, especially also if we talk energy wise, if you're walking into a room and everybody's pitching to you, you would see body language of people kind of stepping back because it's all the energy
Oh,
and they can't take it anymore, right? Because
the
everybody
stepping back is like, this is where like if I see someone doing this, even if like, I'm very sensitive to tiny little things, I just don't approach because like I can see that they're not even listening. Like, why would I waste?
exactly. Stepping back is I am bombarded with energy and stuff that people want from me, So, all right. So we're getting a grip of what it's like and where we're going to get. And I think that we can summarize. By the way, if I'm looking up and down, is because I'm processing, I'm thinking. So the idea is that if we're talking to somebody, we want to separate two things. We want to separate our interest in the other person, where we get to know the other person, and what it is that we need. Okay. And whatever we need, we can set a time for that. It doesn't have to be, at the same time, because it's a mishmash. So having said that, and we really want to get better in this, but getting better at giving and finding interest in other people and getting to know other people. And the reason is there are amazing people out there. And we want to know who they are and we want to pick up on it really quickly. And some people we don't want to communicate and we want to know that very quickly. So how do we do this? Okay. So the idea is to start really in small gestures. Okay. And this is the giving part. We're going to learn today how to do little acts of giving so that we can learn how to communicate better in small talk. Fair enough? So the definition of giving is, as you remember, it makes you uncomfortable, right? That's true definition of giving. The more uncomfortable you are, the more you give. So let's take a small example. So a small example is if you're, waiting for the elevator and you see there are many people getting into the elevator and you really want to get to that elevator, otherwise you're going to wait 5 more minutes, right? And it would be an inconvenience not to get to this elevator because you really need to get upstairs, but the elevator is packed. So a little gesture of giving would be just to wait for the next elevator. Why is it a gesture of giving? You think?
One less person in that packed elevator. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're giving other people space You're respecting the space. And yes, it's inconvenient to wait for another elevator, but okay. It's giving, small gestures of giving. When you're making a cup of coffee, you make another cup of coffee for your colleague. Okay, small gestures. Bigger gestures, okay, of giving, really inconvenience. Here's the situation. You're on a deadline. You just started a new job, you're on a deadline. Your boss is like, I need this end of day today, 5 o'clock. And you're just sitting there trying to figure out, stressed out. And this colleague comes to you and says, I know you're an UX designer. I have a presentation to submit. Can you help me? Right? So what do? They need you. So let's figure out together, how of an inconvenience is it? So what can we do? We can probably see the stress level of this colleague. Okay. And we can probably say, hey, when do you need it by? If they say, hey, I need to finalize it in the next hour, what do we do? Or if he says, I need it by tomorrow, what do we do? Okay. So our options are always to say, hey, I'm busy, I'm sorry, right? Or our options are to say, okay, he's stressed out. I can take 10 minutes right now to help this colleague and see what I can do. So 10 minutes less, but I'll be more focused later. Or I can say, hey, if it can wait, I'm done at 5. I can work with you all through the night for whatever you need. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think in most cases, unless I have something very urgent that I have to go, I would probably just, because I see a lot of time when people are like this stressed. For me as a professional, I come in and it's a 5-minute thing. Okay, yeah, just move this and that. It's gonna look good. And you know, it's not that much of an effort sometimes as much of the stress on the other side.
Yeah.
So for me, unless it's like there is something super urgent that I really cannot do, and then I would say, okay, I'll do it after, I will usually do it right away. Yeah. That's why I say I love your method because it comes so natural to me. It was just that's awesome that I could try it. I was taught to not do it. So I'm excited to unlearn that.
Good. Good. So, the next level of inconvenience, I actually have a friend who did it, is to donate a kidney. And she went through
Wow.
the process of, so we have different levels of giving an inconvenient, and not everybody can be at all the levels. So how do you know how much of giving can you do? I have a rule. Okay. I have a rule that hopefully is going to make a lot of sense. So giving is not only an inconvenience, giving is when you don't expect anything back. So what we want to do is to do acts of giving, small acts of giving, until we get to a point where we catch ourselves thinking, hey, I gave so much, I expect something back. That would be my boundary, right, of giving. Why is it a boundary? Because when I reach that boundary, I don't want to be in a position where I feel used.
You're basically trying to move from a giver to a matcher at that point.
Yeah. So this is my boundary.
Okay.
So the more I behave in giving, I check with myself. And let's say somebody would ask me to give a kidney or a house or something that I would say, hey, can I really freely give it? As much of an inconvenience as it is, or would I expect something back, right? So we're checking our boundaries, and these boundaries teach us who we are, and we can really extend that muscle, right? So let's put together a list of small giving gestures that we can do this week and practice them so that we learn how to, act on them. Okay. Um, I'll give you a few on my list and you can add some. Okay. So the slightest one, or the smallest one, would be probably when somebody did something really nice to you, brought a cup of coffee, and you took a pause and you said thank you. So it's a small gesture, but it says a lot. Okay. Here's another one. It's a funny one. Usually when we call our parents, we may call our mother or our father, and our mother would be, going for 10 minutes about the salad she prepared or about the highlights that she had in the hairdressers or in the salon. And we would want to skip this conversation because we don't find it interesting. So how about spending 5 to 10 minutes, you decide, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of just listening to your mother. And if the highlights are important to her because that was her day, you find interest in her highlights because that's important to her. And even if you have to hold the phone like a mile away, right? But you're still listening, right? So there's another one. Here's another one. How about if you take an Uber, a cab, or whatever, you exit and you actually say to the cab driver, thank you, with a smile. It's a little one. It's an inconvenience because you have to remember to smile and not just rush off, right? And I'm looking at you and I see that in your head, you're probably processing more little acts of kindness like this. How about, here's one, very convenient, takes a minute to do. But let's say you're thinking about a friend that you didn't talk to for a long time. How about texting them saying, you just popped in my mind and I was thinking about you. Really want to talk to you. We'll call you this weekend. So it kind of doesn't put them on the spot to call you right back. It just says, I was thinking about you. The interest is in them. Somebody's thinking about them. It's really nice, right? Getting a text message like this, it's really nice. So anything you can think of that little acts like this.
I don't know if it's little or big, but I'm very big on making connections between people. Like I like to get to know people. So I meet people all the time, like especially around different software. I love to try different software all the time, especially around my interest in like design and research. And product. So it's just I love making connections, and I know that sometimes, one little connection can change someone's life. For me, that is what actually sometimes helps me move around, and now I understand more the method behind it in networking events. Because like if I would, start to make connections in the room or outside of the room, it helps me move around and feel less stressed about the entire thing. And now it's like, oh, there is a method to this. There is a whole thing about it. I could repeat that, not necessarily just with networking. But I think helping to connect people, I did not understand how important and how strong of a thing it is until I just started doing it because, it feels minor. I just talked to someone. It was not relevant to me, but it might be relevant to you. You talk to him. And for them, it's just, especially in today's world with all the AI and the fake out there, real connections between humans is just invaluable. So whoever's out there, start doing that, whatever you can. You definitely know someone who knows someone. Like we all know people, and we just need to start thinking in that way.
I love it. So let's dive deep into this one. How do you make the connection?
If it's in the room, I would either say, like, take the person and say, hey, you guys should talk to each other, like minor introduction about whatever I know about that person and just like leave them alone. And if I don't, I'm not in the room, I kind of try to do the same thing virtually, where I just drop into the person's inbox in like a group chat with the other person. Hi, I'm so excited to make this intro. Um, hey, this and this, meet that person. Hey, this and this, meet that person. Introduce them. I'm here if you want me. Stay there for an hour. They say hi to each other. I leave. And it usually works because it's kind of like, because I'm there to start the conversation, usually there is at least one follow-up from each side. So it kind of like helps to get the conversation going.
Amazing. So I would like to challenge you. Of course. How does it make you inconvenient? And how can it make you more inconvenient?
I'm always worried, when you kind of like do that. Some people I would ask before I reach out in a group chat like this. But some people, like, I feel a little bit more like okay with this, and it's always like, okay, are they gonna block me after this one? Um, how can I inconvenience myself more? I don't know. Do you have an idea for me?
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so I want to throw one at you. Um, let's say that you made a connection, and let's say that one party is very busy, but you know they can be very, very helpful to another person. Okay. And they would normally tell you, yeah, I'll talk to them, and you put them in the group chat, but you see they're just busy. Nudge them. Like really,
Mm,
like you can really help this person. Come on, just give 5 minutes of your time, And yes, you're putting yourself out there. It's inconvenient because you're nudging, and you're bugging another person, but they know that they can. You're not thinking they can be. They can be helpful.
right.
So it's like, right. So that,
Interesting.
like, make it happen to the next level, right? See this through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can help.
That makes me very very uncomfortable. So I will think about it. But I could see it depends on the person. If it would be just someone I met and I don't really know them, I don't know if I would risk it. Because like you said, at some point it's like, where is the line? Which I love, by the way, because your example is such a great, easy test that I did not have before, and I would often cross that line and then regret it. So this is a great example where for a stranger, I would not want to do that much with someone that I don't want to burn this, right? Maybe it's, you don't know what happens in people's life. Maybe there is, a serious medical issue, family drama. There is so much that, like, I don't want to be that person in the background, like, unless it's someone I really care about, right? If my best friend is gonna, like, she says, hey, I need help, can you connect me with X? Of course. Like, for you, I'm happy to go further and be a little bit more uncomfortable, and maybe, go afterwards for coffee with you and bitch about them not answering you and, supporting the entire process. I get that. Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this is where actually we become better communicators, because when we have boundaries, internal boundaries, what I found is that these internal boundaries are easily elicited when we speak, because we know how to put boundaries. Because if you think about it, we want to give all the time. And ultimately, it would be amazing if all day we could
Right.
just give and give and give. But when we have boundaries, we can say, okay, right now I have to do this work. Right now I can give you this. Right now I can. So this is really what we want to practice. And it starts with those little things. And here's another thing that we can practice this week is, instead of saying hello to a colleague and talking about yourself and you just, this is where I'm from. Hey, you need some help with something? I just started a new position, I'm just learning, and helping you is helping me. It's okay. So whatever you need help with. That's a different hello, right? It's right. So I found that these things work and they also make us feel good. And so here's our homework for the week, should you choose to accept it, is to have a list of this little, giving acts. And when you make that list, and I'm sure that throughout the day you'll find more because they just keep on coming. And to practice 2 of them per day, right? So they should take between 2 and 10 minutes. And you can use even the ones that take 30 seconds. It doesn't matter. You just practice it. And let's see what happens next week, because I sense there would be an effect on your communication immediately.
I accept.
I accept.
To summarize what we talked about, it's acknowledgement, gestures, investing time in people that we care about, think service providers, say hi to a friend that you think about, and connect people with others.
Yep. Yeah. And we can actually write this list together and put it up there. So my mission is to have this list and we can add to that list all the time, right? So things that we can do. At the end of the day, it just feels good, doesn't it, to do this?
Yes.
Good enough. So
Yeah. I have a lot of new people to meet this week, so I'm
So
really excited. I think that that's a great approach, and it feels natural and less stressful as a start. So that alone is a big win for me. It seems like it's going to work because, like, if I compare this to how I do this with friends, yes, it works with my friends because this is friendship, and then we sometimes have the wrong expectation of how we show up at work, but we can do the same pattern in a slightly different way at work, and I'm so excited to try.
yeah, why not? Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So until next time, thank you.